Look who's back. Welcome back to the Masquerade of Misery, guys. It's been quite a fucking long time. I'm aware of that. I won't even attempt to give an explanation for my absence because, you know, shit happens in your life and there are times when you are just not in the mood to do things that, even things that you enjoy doing usually. And I would just say the same crap as in my previous videos, that I didn't feel motivated, I felt lazy, I didn't have the energy, and yeah, more or less that would be correct to say. Let's get into today's topic. I might be all over the place because I didn't write any notes for today's video, nothing. It will be just me babbling about different shit that I come up with as I go. One of the things I want to talk about is how fucking frustrating it is when you constantly are expected to follow the majority, to follow their wish, that you are the one who has to accommodate to their bullshit and adopt, right? Whether it's workplace, family, doesn't fucking matter at all. And actually I can give a personal example for this. In September there was a family trip, and already when this was just a plan, I already heard the ideas that we should go to a fucking foresty area, you know, somewhere near nature, a bit more secluded. And I already thought, yeah, fucking great, because in my eyes and my partner's eyes, as beautiful as the forest can be or nature, it also includes fucking monsters that lurk in there. And we have a huge phobia of insects, mainly fucking wasps and hornets, and in my case also spiders. My phobia is stronger than my partner's in that regard, but yeah, we both fucking despise them anyway. And we immediately thought that somehow we should avoid this trip, and I had to struggle so much. I was filled with guilt because the thought of not going or making up a lie to not go made me feel like shit. But I thought, but if we are just honest and just tell them that we actually don't want to go because we are scared of these fuckers, we wouldn't have been understood and they would still pressured us to tag along. You know, when they come and, oh, please don't do this, and this is the first time we can be together like this, we see each other so rarely, it's gonna be fun, we will protect you. And I mean, this is one of the bullshit things that people say, like, we will protect you. How the fuck are you gonna protect me? Because yes, sometimes you can squash that little shit that appears and you can get lucky and avoid getting stung by the wasp or hornet. But a lot of times, I mean, how the fuck can you protect someone who is being attacked by a goddamn hornet that is just flying around and you can barely catch it? And if you do, you might miss the target, it will get mad at you, and then it will fuck around with you next. And what can you do when it stings you? Nothing. Or when the other person gets stung. You just wait for the disaster to hit, because if you are allergic to its fucking venom, you are quite much fucked. And now I'm especially referring to the European hornet. Those are very nice creatures, I must say. And I have read plenty of fucking articles and watched reports on all kinds of people, whether it was a small child, a big buff fucking guy, or a woman didn't fucking matter, their age, their body type, nothing mattered. They got fucking stung and they ended up having an allergic reaction, and basically the ambulance had to be called, and they were this close to the Reaper, and they were basically, most of them were safe, but there were people who actually fucking died. And I thought that going on this family trip would mean risking this fate, and I'm always open for the Reaper. I accept when he comes. It's just, you know, the way it happens. Well, I would prefer if it's not from a fucking hornet stinging me, because it hurts as fuck and surely it kills you quite slowly and painfully. So long story fucking short, I was torn apart because a part of me wanted to go because I love my family, and I also wanted to see my aunt because I haven't seen her for 3 years, and also my cousin, his wife. I was like, okay, what the fuck shall I do? Because my partner's phobia to wasps and hornets are even bigger than mine, and we had to, you know, have these discussions. What the fuck to do? Shall we just lie that one of us got sick or any other bullshit? And I was like, okay, let's attempt this. And my mom already, only through the phone, could tell just by how my voice sounded and how depressed I sounded that something is wrong here and I'm not feeling okay, and there's something that bothers me. I just don't wanna share it or afraid to share it. And eventually I fucking cracked like an egg and told her, okay, but that's how it is, we don't wanna go because we are scared shitless of those bitches. Because, you know, nice weather means these fuckers are all around. Well, we had a long as fucking conversation then with my partner, and I was feeling awful about all this because, you know, I hate lying, but I also hate doing something I don't want to, and in the end we ended up going. I think the main reason why we didn't have any awful encounters with said hornets and their friends is because for the majority of the time we were in our fucking room, in the accommodation or holiday house, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but yeah. My partner and I were mainly shut in our room, just being on the fucking computer, and we were mostly excluding ourselves from group activities, like when my family, the rest of my family went for a fucking hike, or when they played board games and whatnot, or they were in the fucking terrace drinking wine and all this shit. And, you know, to us the terrace meant also encountering these bitches and spiders and all that. And we were right not tagging along because during that hike they found one of these huge fucking spiders, and that was also carrying its fucking offsprings on its back. So it was a mama spider, and they even took photos of that shit. And I cannot even look at pictures of spiders for even a fucking second because I get this disgust and painful feeling in my stomach. I even thought that, oh my god, what if I accidentally stepped on that shit? Or it climbed on me or whatever. I would have screamed my fucking head off. It was a weekend and that's how it was mainly spent, that we were just hiding in our fucking room while the rest of my family was more or less enjoying themselves, having fun. And you know, I also didn't like this pressure that but you should join and don't be just shut in your room, at least keep your door open slightly so the others won't think you are completely isolating yourselves and excluding yourselves on purpose. And well, we arrived to the topic that, you know, you are always pressured by others. Especially if you are an introvert and someone who doesn't fit in, you are the one who should always feel guilty and you are the bad guy that, oh, you don't want to spend time with other people. And I mean, it depends on my mood, okay, and I'm never the social type, even with my family. With my parents, yeah, I love hanging out with them, Also when my brother and sister-in-law are around, however, they can be quite a pain in the ass sometimes. And yeah, I love all the rest of my family and everything. It's just, I don't like attention on me. My partner is the same, so when I say I also mean both of us. Yeah, we are just not the type to have so much fun with social activities and whatnot. And we even said that this trip would be quite enjoyable if these fucking insects weren't everywhere. And next time, if we go, we have an ultimatum that we only go if we go in a cold season, mainly winter or end of autumn, because these fucking insects pose no threat during that time. Spiders also. And if they wanna go on a trip in a warm weather, I would say that okay, then maybe we just go for a fucking wellness or a town that is mainly fucking concrete and maybe has a nice spa or something. But nah, I'm not going ever again to a place that is infested by these bitches. It's tiring to always be the one who has to adapt to others, and people will never truly understand you. Some people might try to understand you, but maybe they don't really want to put in the effort, but they always expect you to understand that what the majority wants, and you are the one who always has to consider other people's little feelings to not offend them. What about us who are not like the rest? Why are we never considered? Why are we never taken seriously? Why don't the majority put in the fucking effort to make you feel comfortable? Just once. Because I rarely see it. You know, where they throw these fucking things at you. Ah, you are such a moody person, such a party pooper, so sour. Please enjoy yourself at least a bit. Please at least do this and this for us. Please come out of your shell. No, how about you give me a fucking blanket and a pillow to make myself even more comfortable in my fucking shell? You know, I think it's way more comfortable sometimes for the majority to make the atmosphere pleasant for the minority than the other way around. Like, for example, if we talk about social events and parties, which one do you think is easier to achieve? If the introverted person or someone who even has social anxiety is forced to attend this place and face a panic attack, a racing heart, sweaty fucking palms, stomachache, loss of appetite, trembling, blushing, all this shit, and torture themselves for hours just to be there, while maybe the others don't even give a shit that you are there or not, and maybe also risk embarrassment and getting mocked or laughed at, or, you know, humiliation in general? Or is it easier for the majority to say to this one person, we are aware how you feel about these events, parties, gatherings, you don't need to come? Will it hurt the majority if those one or two people, or, you know, the minority, if they don't attend? What will happen? Can the majority still enjoy that fucking party or whatever event? Of course they can. They will hang out with their buddies, talk and laugh and drink and all this goofy, happy bullshit, pretentious fucking crap. So, if you think about it, I believe that the second option is a tiny bit easier. Just a tiny bit. Same for the fucking workplaces. That they always expect you to become a team player and fully give yourself to the company and be adaptive and flexible. Yeah, you should have your legs flexible to open them wide so they can fuck you. And they never consider you as an individual. They always want you to be part of the group and just be an NPC. But as an individual, they don't fucking respect you. They don't even give a shit about you, like what type of work environment you prefer, if you prefer having your lunch alone or with others, if you prefer being in your own secluded room and in silence, which are the ways that you can work more effectively or more calmly. They don't give a shit about that. All they want is that you follow the rules and attend these fucking disgusting, stomach churning, bullshit, team building crap events that have nothing to do with building the relationship within the company. No, it just means that you get to drink and eat all you want on company money. That's it. But I talked about that already too. So I'm really fucking tired of this shit, honestly. That it keeps happening, you know that. There always comes a situation where I already have to fucking think and these fucking cogwheels start turning in my fucking brain, desperately finding a way to get out of these situations, make up an excuse, make up a lie. Because I know that when you are honest, people won't understand you, people will invalidate your opinion and the way you feel. They will downplay it, they might even ridicule it. They will never truly fucking understand. Yeah, it's true that humans will never truly understand each other. If you are different, they just can't fucking accept it. They try to push you and shape you to fit in that fucking mold. They just cannot stand when someone dares to be different, dares to be themselves, dares to stand out in any way. Basically, what are therapies for? For the same fucking reason. Aside from business and making big pharma's wallets thicker, the therapy, I'm not saying that, all therapy is bad. Because, of course, if you are traumatized and went through some really serious shit that you cannot deal with on your own, yes, therapy can be useful. But why should a simple introverted person or a simply timid shy person or someone who just misanthropic, why should these people go to therapy? Or people who are depressed, I believe they don't need fucking therapy, because most of the time depression is the most logical reaction to this world, because someone who is not depressed in a world like this, I think that's the problem. That person also is seriously fucked in the head. If someone can be happy and not see all the fucking darkness around, I think that's the mental illness, not the depression. Depression is just the reaction of a healthy mind to all this shit that's going on. And okay, if it gets to the point where you don't even want to get out of the fucking bed and you even have trouble just eating and taking a shower, then yes, you need help. But if you just simply think of people as disgusting and this life as something meaningless and trash, I don't think you need therapy. You just opened your eyes to reality. So I think that in some cases therapy is really fucking unnecessary. Why should you change your personality to fit in? Why should everyone desire to fit in? Why is it so good to fit in? I don't wanna be part of this fucking flock of fucking sheep. I'm really fucking fed up of this that no matter if you're at work, within your friend circle, family, whatnot, they won't truly understand your issues. Also, how many times have I faced that whenever I told someone that, let's say, I'm arachnophobic or I'm scared of fucking insects, wasps, hornets, whatnot, people don't react to it in an understanding way, more like, oh, but when they say this bullshit, this is one of the things that piss me off the most. It's more scared of you than you are of it. How the fuck do you know? You can analyze the brain of that fucking insect and spider. How do you know that it's more scared than I am? I don't think you see the spider or the fucking insect crying and trembling and having a fucking panic attack just by seeing me. I don't think so. It just fucking runs away because it tells, the instincts tell to protect itself. But I'm doing the same. It's just, of course, when you have a phobia, your reactions are exaggerated. Or the other thing, oh, it won't hurt you, it doesn't bite or it doesn't sting, and I don't give a shit if it stings or not. if it bites or not. I don't want that crap near me, because of the mere sight of it and the fucking buzzing or the fucking feeling of it crawling on me creeps me out, and I want that shit away from me, okay? The sting or the bite is just an extra layer, all the more reason for me to stay away from them, and that's not my main reason why I'm repulsed by these bitches. They don't understand. People just don't fucking get it. And most of the times they don't even wanna place themselves in your shoes, because oh, why should they, you know? Why should they exercise some empathy and compassion? That would be too much of a fucking hassle. They just don't understand why you get angry, why you get upset, why you get sad, why you react the way you react. Even when you try to open up and speak about these things honestly, you just get all the more depressed when you see that the reaction you are getting is not the one you really would like to get or what you expect. You always have to face the indifference or the confusion or mocking and whatnot. Believe me, living with phobias or social anxiety and all this shit is not fun, okay? But you can make my life fucking easier if you just leave me the fuck alone and you just fucking comprehend that I despise social events, I despise insects, spiders, and don't force me into any kind of fucking situation that involves these. Simple. So this is the conclusion for today, that people will never understand you, and most of the times they don't even want to understand you. They always want to attempt to fit you in their fucking NPC mold. And you know, even in Japan there's this saying that goes like that the nail that stands out has to be hammered back down to its place. It says a lot. I want to visit Japan and I love a lot about that country, but I hate this mindset though, that everyone has to be the fucking same. I like individuality and freedom and all this shit, and everyone should have the fucking right to express it, and everyone should have the right to be left the fuck alone. That's what I'm passionate about, being left the fuck alone. Just let me be myself. Don't convince me, don't guilt trip me, don't fucking force me to do any of the shit I don't want to do, because to you, if I do something different, if I'm not attending a fucking event, or if I'm not going on a fucking trip, or if I do my own thing, it won't fucking hurt you. It will do you no fucking harm. However, if I'm the one who has to force herself to do something I don't want, I will just hate life even more. I will feel miserable. I will panic. I will feel depressed and anxious and all this shit. But no, why should anyone try to fucking understand this? Guys, I think it's long enough already, this video, so this is where I say my goodbyes. Fuck this world, fuck people, and praise the Reaper.